welcome back. It's been a little bit of a sabbatical for us, but we're back at it again. Episodes 113 through 120 of Naruto Shippuden. I'm here with my friends Asher and Zach.
What up?
And post just like add the air horn. Now we don't even have to add the air horn.
Sample it.
Yeah. So yeah, episodes 113 through 120. I know that Zach watched the filler that we skipped. Mm-hmm. And Asher, did you?
No, I got into like the first episode and just didn't.
I got you. I didn't watch it either. And I'm not sure if I've ever seen it. I really don't know. But Zach, is there anything you want to talk about from the filler batch that you just want to make mention of, or are you just like, hey, I watched it, wish I didn't?
The last time we talked about it, I wanted to see more of the frogs, the toads, and definitely got that satisfaction out of it.
Nice.
I didn't take a ton of notes, but yeah, it was fun. It was just I was looking for more Jiraiya, and he literally left in the first episode to go do something else, and left him with the toads. And I was like, whatever, I'll just watch it. And I mean, it wasn't like disappointing. But I do know what you mean. Like, it didn't really add to the story once we got to 113. And I could see, why it was just kind of like there to fill space. So I got that context. But overall, it was fun.
Yeah, I feel that. And now that I think about it, I have seen that arc before because he works on that jutsu with Gamatetsu, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Got
to see a lot of the little boy who Sasuke ran into by the river, and there's some. I mean, I guess it's already passed, so I can talk about it. But we saw the three-tail Jinchuriki, the turtle in the lake, and opposing teams trying to seal it into a vessel. So that was interesting. But
yeah. Well, I guess we'll move on to the actual canon stuff. So, episode 113. What'd y'all think? I mean, there's a lot that happened we'll just talk about like 113 through 118 is this like beginning of this Itachi pursuit mission. And then we get a little bit of a break in 119 and 120. We'll talk about that separately. But were you shocked? Were you... Who won? Was it Sasuke? Was it Orochimaru? Do we really know? I want you guys... Have you thought about it that way?
I don't think we've seen the end of Orochimaru, but I did make a note that Sasuke is finally badass. Like, I'm finally not just hating on Sasuke for being a little bitchy bitch all the time. It was awesome.
Sasuke, like, on his own, like, independent, is like, okay, I can get down with some Sasuke now. Like, it's not this ambiguous, are you evil, are you not? Like, I still, now that I've seen him on his own with his new team that we'll get into, I think it's looking up for Sasuke in my opinions. But for your original question, I didn't really see it coming the way that it happened. I'm not a huge Orochimaru fan. Never have been, but he's a good villain for what he is. But they did him dirty. Like, it was just quick and simple. Like, here 1 second, gone the next. And his answer to Kabuto was super interesting too. Of like, he said he like absorbed him completely, and he is no more. And to me specifically, I'm kind of jumping ahead, but specifically, like, they go to find Jugo, one of the three that he's searching for after his release from Orochimaru, and his snake arms come out to separate him and Suigetsu. And so I'm like, okay, so he did absorb him completely. Like, it's like he got all of his powers almost. I can't say that for sure because I haven't seen all of his powers. But it's like he absorbed his abilities, but maybe not his evil intentions. Because he has a bigger mission that he's searching for. So that's kind of my take so far.
Thoughts, Asher?
I don't know that I have anything to add. It was just,
Okay.
I mean,
Do you
it
share
was
that thought?
about the intent or the power, not necessarily the intentions.
Yeah, mainly like, yeah, yes.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, it didn't occur to me that he absorbed any power or gained any power from it. To me, it was like he's just kind of broken the Orochimaru spell on. Well, I don't know that he really ever had a spell on Sasuke specifically, but on a lot of other people. But no, I don't know. I wasn't thinking that he like gained some new powers or anything. That's really
And I
interesting.
think in the dub, he does say, "I absorbed him. He is no more." In the sub, though, he says, and now it's tough to know because I mean this is just one person's translation trying to make it cohesive. But
Yeah.
it was. Do you remember exactly what he said, Asher? It was something like, "Oh gosh, it'll come to me in just a second."
What Kabuto said?
No, what Sasuke said about him.
His response to Kabuto when he said, "So tell me, is this you or is this Orochimaru?"
And then I'll just find it. I've got the episode pulled up right now.
While you do that, let me respond to Asher real quick. The only reason I said that he's got Orochimaru's powers is because we find with Jugo that Kimimaro was like his cage to suppress his impulses. And so Sasuke, through what we saw, that Kimimaro says he sacrificed himself for Sasuke to be Orochimaru's vessel. He knew, like Jugo knew Sasuke was coming, and even Sasuke said, "I can be your cage." Like it was a parallel completely. But he's fighting with Suigetsu in the hallway, and he literally, like his arms shoot out white snakes, which is from the backstory of Orochimaru.
Right.
That's his like staple, like I don't know, transformation. I don't even know what to say there. And so white snakes come out, and those are his arms, and he like separates them and like holds them in a grip. And that's when I was like, oh, he's got Orochimaru's powers.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I can't stop thinking about the White Snakes and the fact that the band White Snake wasn't playing when that happened. Like, I wish there was a little bit of hair metal moment there.
Maybe Tsunade on the hood of a freaking muscle car.
Yes. And also, doesn't Orochimaru seem like somebody who would listen to hair metal like in the 80s?
Yeah. Put the snake contacts in.
Yeah.
So in the sub, Kabuto says Lord Orochimaru is dead. And then in an inner monologue, he says, "No, it's almost as if," and trails off. And then Sasuke says, "I took over all that he was." So it's it's just a different vibe, like as far as like what's being said. And I think that the dub adding "he is no more" is interesting, not because of anything that I know in the future. It's just a difference in dialogue. It infers something that the sub didn't,
right?
Regardless of what happens in the future of the show. It's so definitely interesting, because to me, and I hear your argument, Zach, but to me, my first thought is like, he's spent 3 years with Orochimaru, like learning jutsu. Like that's like he's been obviously training. So I didn't take it so much as like he absorbed him. But Kabuto in the sub saying it's almost as if, because he was like, he's dead. No, wait, it's almost as if like he's a part of you now. It's kind of what I'm getting. That it feels like that's being inferred in the sub a little bit more than the dub. That the absorption is like not the end of Orochimaru, but like I don't know how to describe it. But
like he's
just
still,
like they're together.
Yeah, he's still living in there somewhere. Somehow, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, the word absorbed there too makes me think of like Cell in the Cell saga of Dragon Ball Z, where he's just like, slurping people up with his tail,
which is what happened in It's what happened in the transference ritual. Like he
Yeah.
literally absorbed him with all that like black flesh, or the flesh that turned black and all those monsters. Like
Yeah.
he literally gobbled him up in his own space.
So there was
I don't know.
something that was said earlier with Orochimaru kind of like going out quickly and unexpectedly.
Yes.
And this is going to be obvious. This is things that you guys could have put together, but I just want to make sure it's like clear. So yes, he was like just out of the blue. Hey, he's out. For a pretty big villain, you would think that it would be a bigger deal than 5 minutes in one episode.
Mhm.
But I believe that is the show trying to teach you, because we've not spent, this arc is the first time that we've shifted perspectives to Sasuke. We haven't seen Naruto. We get like a little bit of him at the end of each episode, basically. But and that's kind of how it's been in reverse. If we saw Sasuke, it was like for just a little bit at the end of an episode. So we've not had a ton of time to learn how strong Sasuke is without episodes and episodes that they haven't shown us, obviously. So, but that we have had with Naruto. So to kind of like bring him up to a level that's like evident that, oh, okay, he is the real deal. We get a lot of like little contextual clues. So he takes out Orochimaru incredibly fast. And Orochimaru is very, very like dying, like on the brink of death. And so for him to even put up a fight is like that's the bottom of the barrel already. But still, huge feat for Sasuke to beat him. And then as they go around to all these hideouts and everybody already knows of Sasuke and is like revering him already, is, that's them trying to teach us like he's a
Big bad.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Makes sense.
And he is big bad, but what's not big bad is his music. Like, I hate to call it intro, like, the like music they play that is specific to the character, or like the Akatsuki always has that one song that play whenever the Akatsuki's on.
Yeah. Orochimaru did too. Like,
yeah. Yep.
Especially in OG.
Yep. Sasuke gets one, and they played it a few times for Hebi. Dude, I hate it. It's the like guitar. I just think it's so out of place. Like it feels so out of place.
Like a bad WWE intro, which never happens technically. But Sasuke was like, I don't know, pick some stock music or something.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, that is strange that they would choose that, especially for someone who they're trying to portray as like this giant heartthrob when they go to the cafe with him and Suigetsu, or especially with like Karin, she's like swooning over him. Like he's obviously like this big deal and obviously like super powerful. That music does not say that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
At all.
I don't know what the thought was behind that, like at all.
So I went back and looked at the subtitles while you were talking of that line.
Yeah.
And Kabuto isn't saying it internally. He said then Orochimaru's dead. And
in
Sasuke
the next
says,
part, that little next part where he goes, it's almost as if, that's a thought.
What do you mean?
So he says Lord Orochimaru is dead. Out loud. And
no,
then the next
it's more like, and then Sasuke says, I have absorbed him completely and nothing at all remains. So
yeah,
gnarly.
I said he is no more, but nothing at all remains says the same thing.
Yeah.
Like gone.
Gone,
girl.
Yeah. I think that even where you guys are at, how much we've seen, which is honestly remarkable how much we've covered in 10 months. Like it's a lot. But if there's one thing we've learned, is that Orochimaru, he's like got a million Horcruxes. Like, he's always coming back somehow. It's annoying. So for Sasuke to say something so definitive, trying to play the middle here, because Sasuke did obliterate him. That is true. But
it's a good point. I mean, I'm assuming with the snake thing, he has a Nagini somewhere that is actually a part of him that we're going to have to kill later.
And I think that the Orochimaru's true form that they call it, where he's the white snake in his head, dude, I hate that. I hate the way it looks. I don't know why, and I absolutely abhor snakes. I can't stand any of them.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, he can't be gone. Like, that's the first time we saw that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's the second, because when we first saw Tsunade, he was that form, was he not?
Yeah, she forced him into it.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe he is gone. I don't know, but yeah. I to what you're saying, it is very creepy and like disturbing, even for like a 2D drawing. Like, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
But so was the realm where the transference was taking place. Like, it was gross.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I put "this is disgusting" in all caps during that part. It was just like, it was very like otherworldly, other plane of existence kind of thing, and just like that alone kind of makes it, oh, this is weird. This is kind of icky or just unpleasant.
And it's just like flesh.
Yeah.
And then it turned to like smoker's lung.
Yeah.
Just gross.
Real quick on Orochimaru, I did enjoy the backstory, and I liked seeing Anko, of course, in the past. But honestly, as a pupil and sort of the, what do you call it, like the catalyst to us gaining some understanding of like what Orochimaru's whole plot was, very interesting, like very well done, flowed well. I just wonder what that would have been like to be one of his underlings or whatever. Like, I kind of got the vibe that it went from, oh yeah, he cares about us and he's like kind of pouring into us as a leader, to, oh, he's crazy. he's just out to do some like wild stuff at some point.
Even the run-in with the third Hokage was interesting, especially knowing how that ended. I feel like maybe, okay, this is my theory on Orochimaru, and then we can move on from him. I feel like we're either going to still see pieces of him in present, or we're going to continue to get context of his reign of demise and see how that played out, and why some of these pieces that are falling in line that we're about to be introduced to were put into place in the first place. That's my theory.
Okay. I dig
Immortalized in flashbacks.
I dig that. So, we got a lot of backstory in this batch. Obviously, 119 and 120 was exclusively that. But before we get to that, which is what I'm most excited to talk about, Sasuke leaves and he's looking for a team. We find out at the end of at the end of 118 that the purpose is to find and kill Itachi. But we're not told that until then, so we're just following Sasuke as he, gets his little band together. Thoughts? I'll tell you a thought before I ask for thoughts. The scene in probably 116 or 117 where Karin says, she's like, it's a flashback. It's the first time that she's worked with Sasuke. And she's like telling him where everybody is based off their scent. And she's like, 1 50 meters behind us and 3 at 10 o'clock or whatever, something close to that. And Sasuke jumps off at the speed of light. She goes, so fast. And then the next 30 seconds is Sasuke moving awkwardly slow to each person. He's not lightning quick. It's like the animation is just so abysmal here that it's so noticeable. I hate it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, not so fast. Like he jumped off incredibly fast and then slowed down. I wanted to make a mention of that because I hate it, and I kind of hate the whole team. Just to be honest, I think that Jugo is all right because I think he's very interesting. Karin, super annoying.
Man.
All the worst parts of Sakura. And then Suigetsu is okay. He's okay. The overall Hebi, snake in Japanese, the name is cooler than the group is.
Yeah, I would agree with that. To go through the list, Karin could have been so cool. I thought she was really cool. And then she started swooning. And I was like, come on, man. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm used to Power from Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Awesome character, chaotic. I kind of saw that in her. And I was like, yes, like we needed a female character of this caliber. And then like just sort of a plot piece for Sasuke. And I was like, dude, I hate that. Is it Jugo? It is Jugo, right?
It is Jugo. Yeah.
Definitely interesting. I'm excited to hear some more of his story. Don't love him necessarily. And then Suigetsu, again, Chainsaw Man reference. I think I texted Logan and Lance, sorry, Zach, but you're never watching things the next day like me. And I don't blame you for that. I was like, oh, he's got Chainsaw Man teeth, which was kind of fun. The only thing I really, really love about him is that one fang just kind of hangs out of the top of his mouth. And I think that's kind of cool. But then he opens it and speaks, and it's like, could take you or leave you.
This is a whatever. So I was finishing up the batch, and I noticed that little like snag tooth, and I was trying to do it. Like, there's no practical way to have one tooth fall over. Zach's not doing it. Do it, Zach.
Come on, this is great for our podcast audience.
The viewers are going wild over this.
I'm not sure if they
are. I mean, this is no. This is our viewers won't find this strange, but I disagree with both of you.
Wow.
I kind of like the team. I'm a fan, and I don't. So like comparing to, and this is what's weird is like, I don't view them as villains anymore because I think Sasuke is still on that vengeance kick, but he's going after the same group, at least a person of that same group that the Leaf is going after. So to me, they're on the same team. And we kind of see that come full circle towards the end. But I don't view them as like I would a Datara, or who was the other guy that was like religious with Joshin?
Hedon.
And so I would just say like he is cocky, but the dub version, and because I liked him, I watched a few scenes in sub as well. And the sub felt a little annoying, but the dub version of Suigetsu, I'm a fan of. I like his voice. I like his like inflections. He's not an annoying cocky. He's just, to me, like confident. And I think Sasuke's, probably going to get tired of it because he doesn't seem to be so far, at least in the dub version that I caught on to. I think he's just like, I need to get this done, and I'll do it if that means I have to deal with this guy that I know has powers that will help me get to that goal. I I've yet to see like the purpose of Jugo, and I'm interested in seeing that purpose. But I get the utility of Kadin, but I don't like the character as much of the four. She's my least favorite. But overall, I'm a fan of this like mercenary team of people trying to do the same thing. Not the same thing as a whole, but like get to the same group. That's my
Yeah.
take.
I respect it. So we did get a little bit of a tease in 115, I believe. Did you guys think that we were going to get to see Inari and Tazuna? And then they said, "Boop, nope, land of lightning."
Yeah, I kind of figured because you had already said we're never going to see him again. I kind of figured that was going to happen, and it's just funny that they brought it up, but I don't think it would have added anything.
No,
True.
besides like getting to see Inari,
Growing
probably
up
like
a little.
probably like 4.5, maybe like years older. Sorry, not age total.
I was like, was he?
I'm like trying
Wasn't
to do
he
the
older
math.
than 4 when we got to see him?
Yeah, he's got Benjamin Button. He's actually about to die.
Oh no!
Yeah, I just want to make sure I brought that up because first in the whole episode, like that's our first arc. Well, it's not the first, but it's our first like big one where we get to spend time with Team 7.
There was a lot of callbacks to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I kind of like that Suigetsu has Zabuza's blade, and I like that Zabuza's blade is been brought back as like this is important and like still a big deal. I think it gives credence to like just how big of a deal it was that they took down Zabuza and Haku when they did.
Right.
I have a prediction about it. Is it called the Executioner's Blade? Is that why I made this note here?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I think so.
I think
Lore Master can confirm.
There you go. I think Suigetsu is going to slay. God, I can't think of his name. Who's Itachi's annoying?
Oh, Kisame. Well, yeah, because he's already said that he wants Samihara.
Yeah,
the shark skin blade.
Right. My prediction is he's going to like mess him up with that Executioner's Blade, especially if it would make sense if Sasuke's going after Itachi. Kisame is going to be there as well, so they're gonna have to fight him, I assume. So I think that would be a cool full circle kind of thing.
So anything else, any other notes y'all have pertaining to I hope that you edit that to show your camera during that time. So anything pertaining to Heavy that you guys wanted to continue to talk about?
One thing that I have a question about that we need to get to the bottom of ASAP from the dub. Episode 115 at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. They're talking about Zabuza's blade, and the guy runs into him.
I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
He starts speaking gibberish.
It's in reverse. And it's in reverse in the sub, too.
Is it Japanese in reverse, or is it English in reverse?
So in both, like for whatever. So in the Japanese audio, it's just that audio backwards. Okay. And then in the English audio, it's the exact same thing. It's the audio that he said just played backwards. I went and double checked because I heard that too and was like, why does that sound
crazy?
So yeah, I don't know. You know how like reversed audio, at least in my ears, like I don't even know how to describe this, but I feel like I can identify reversed audio based on like in my brain it does this. Sounds so stupid. In my brain it pops on the end instead of like, I feel like a lot of times whenever we speak, the beginning of the word is what gets a lot of like the pop out of the mouth and it trails off, and then backwards you hear that pop on the end. Anyways, I don't know if any of that makes sense, but basically it's reversed audio.
Do we know what he says in reverse?
He goes, huh? What? You have a problem, bro? And then it's the same audio played backwards, but the sub just says, whatever. And then in the dub, it's the exact same thing, reversed audio, but he says something else. I'll have it for you in just a second.
I keep the subtitles on when I'm watching the dub anyways, just to like be able to spell names right in notes and like kind of fully understand what they're talking about sometimes. And it just said gibberish or bad translation.
Yeah, so it's just so I don't know why they even put a subtitle there that says whatever. Makes no sense. But it's reversed audio, and then at the end of it he's like, whatever. And then he walks away and he's like, this town, blah blah blah, like just mumbling.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just reversed audio. It's really weird and out of place. Like
yeah.
But why does that happen in that moment? Like, why is it in reverse?
I think that they're trying to show that he's like taking back what he's said, because he turns
I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, he turns to look at Suigetsu and Sasuke gives him that like anime bad boy look, and the guy like he's like, oh my god, I take it back.
Yeah,
which if you glare at somebody like that in real life, nobody's like, oh my god, never mind. At least I'm not. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty cringe. But that's most of anime. If you do anime in real life, it becomes cringy.
Was his Sharingan showing, or was it just his normal
eyes? Just glare. Yeah.
What is this batch called?
This is arc? So I named this Itachi Pursuit Mission / Kakashi Gaiden for the last two. It's in the Notion, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see Kimimaro again. We got some context on him a little bit more. Obviously, we got some backstory about like his Keka Genkai whenever he fought Gaara and Rock Lee, but we get to see a different side of him, a different side that's not pledge my soul to Orochimaru. And it's still in there, but it's not as prevalent.
I just get the sense that everybody did it out of fear of like, I can't fight him, so I'm just gonna like join and submit, but not really willingly. And everybody's got these like side goals that, you know, Orochimaru didn't like inspire that following. It was more out of like, if you don't do this, I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just kind of a theme that I get with both of the hideouts and like Kimimaro and Jugo and Karin and Suigetsu. Everybody's like, yeah, we all wanted to kill him.
Yeah, and Suigetsu even says that. He was like, you just had more chances because you were his pet and he kept you near him.
Even him saying like you were his pet, like just has that kind of fear-based, like, which is interesting because Sasuke was like the one person who went willingly and was like, I'm going to learn from you. And like ultimately, I'm sure he planned on messing him up at the end, probably from the beginning of that too.
But that wasn't necessarily willingly, was it? Because he kind of planned on that with the curse mark in the beginning. He said, you're going to come to me. So I don't feel like it was ever like, I'm actually like, I feel like maybe Sasuke put that front on, but I feel like that was planted because of the curse mark.
Yeah, I could see it being, now that I'm thinking about the curse mark too, like maybe sort of a 50-50 thing, but doesn't Sasuke mention something about like, well, no, okay, I remember what it was. He says that he's basically okay with Orochimaru taking his body because he doesn't feel like he could take him on individually, and neither of them feel that way, so may as well just let him eat me up as a snake. But then him saying that in the past, it doesn't make sense. It seems like he was just saying that and his plan probably from fairly early on was like, I'm gonna off Orochimaru.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you think back to like when he actually took off and set forth to go to Orochimaru, that gang of people that had the second forms because of those curse marks,
The Sound 4.
the Sound 4, they didn't come and were like, all right, this is the way to go. Like Sasuke was really wrestling with it. Like he was really like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like I'm not going to leave my people and my village. And then something about that curse mark kept nagging at him to get it, and like maybe it reminded him and brought up all those memories of Itachi, which is where we got that context.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever being, because it aligns with everybody else that's like, we're seeing them now that Orochimaru's dead. We're seeing everybody didn't like him, and I don't think that Sasuke is an outlier there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of is both here, because in my opinion, whenever the Sound 4 approach Sasuke, they don't force him. They're like, it's very important that he comes on his own accord, because in my guess is that Orochimaru knew he needed to keep Sasuke with him, training him, because he's getting very different treatment than because Orochimaru wants that body, so he needs to train him differently than Jugo or Suigetsu or any of the other prisoners that we see, that they're that they're being held captive. Like it's very different. They're being held captive. But with Sasuke, I think it's important that he comes on his own accord so that he can train and be trusted to train on his own, and not like try to run away or whatever, because he's not a prisoner.
Right.
So I do think it's orchestrated, but I think he needed to also kind of be on board.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, they might have clarified that and like specifically said that, but I'm saying I don't think that was Sasuke getting to that point. Like if the curse mark wasn't there and Orochimaru was like, hey, I could like get you better so that you could kill your brother, I don't think he would go, because he could do that anywhere. I think the curse mark is what continually drove him to go to Orochimaru, because Orochimaru is the one who put the curse on him, is what I'm saying.
I would like to put this out to the social media world and find out what they think. Did the curse mark drive Sasuke to Orochimaru, or would Sasuke have gone regardless?
I mean, but if you think about it, okay, I agree. Let's listen to what they have to say. But what is a curse? Like sometimes, like, I know I have no like expertise in this, but like if you look at voodoo, like if you curse somebody to do your bidding, like that curse is to get them to do something specific, or to trap them into a specific situation that's going to haunt them, right? And I feel like this curse, the fact that he has the ability to curse people and plant it in their body and give them powers beyond their belief, it just adds up to like it being a spell, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Almost like a jutsu.
He put a spell on you.
Hey.
Interesting thought. I like that though. I see where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And I don't know the answer to this. I don't even know if I've thought about it.
Huh. Well,
I would be interested to know what people on social media think, what Lore Master thinks, and what Lance thinks, and Connor. Those are the people I'm going to seek out answers from.
I don't care what Connor thinks, but probably the rest of them.
Okay, so go ahead.
I did make a note just with the Jugo and Kimimaro stuff, kind of back to what I think, Zach, you were saying this earlier, but or something similar. But I put that there's a certain sweetness here, except that it's all about what Orochimaru wants. Like them kind of, protecting or mostly Kimimaro protecting Jugo. It was like there was a moment there of, oh wow, this is a cool like duo kind of thing. But then in the big scheme of all of them being in this situation to begin with, it's like, oh, Orochimaru is just performing experiments and creating soldiers and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And lots of them. Like, where is he getting all these people?
Kidnapping them.
Yeah.
snatching them out their windows.
Well, that is all that we saw of Heavy. We'll see them more in the next batch. I believe actually in the next batch, it's only that. We'll see. We'll spend some time with Team 7, but or I guess it's Team Kakashi now, and Kakashi's not even on it.
What in the world? Let's get these titles correct.
Yeah, but that leaves us with 119 and 120. So we got some context. Before we get into it, I want you guys to know something. These 2 episodes are covered in, I think, like 4 chapters of the manga. And it is actually told between the end of OG and the beginning of Shippuden. So in the manga, you get this context out the gate. So by the time you get into after the time skip, you know this. It doesn't really change much, obviously. It gives great context, but at the beginning of Shippuden or now isn't going to change much. It definitely was held and told later on purpose. But I just wanted you guys to know that it's interesting. It's just like a weird, large time gap, like to hold on to it for like 2.5 real years, as opposed to fake years. So, we got to spend some time with young Kakashi, Rin, and Obito, and Minato. Let's go first with who's your favorite here.
I mean, Kakashi kind of sucked at the beginning. It's gotta be Minato. Is that the 4th? Am I?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of know that, right? Because of the yellow flash and all that stuff.
Yeah, they don't say it outright, but there's so much. Yeah. There's so much.
He's very well respected.
Yeah,
and
but he's not the 4th here.
Right.
He's just a Jonin.
Right.
Because that's the 3rd Hokage's voice when they kind of do the tribute at the end.
Yeah, it is.
So I kind of got that the 3rd was like, because during the Great War, he was the guy.
Yeah.
But Minato's honestly like, I don't know. Like, I know it's a small village, but I'm getting like, is this like Naruto's brother? Or somehow related in some way? I don't know. Like, he's just got similar hair, but he doesn't talk like him. So it's like strange to me. Like, I don't know. Cousins,
he doesn't
maybe.
talk like him.
But like Obito doesn't talk like Itachi or Sasuke. So like,
I will say that Minato's last name is Namikaze. But we'll learn more about him. I mean, he's obviously a big part of Kakashi's life, and we will get more on Kakashi as well. So we've got to find out the fate of the 4th, because he's obviously not been in the show besides flashbacks. So what's going on? Where did he go? Actually, never mind. If you remember, we do know what happened. It was told in the very first episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Duh. Well, I was afraid that I didn't want to spoil that for you guys, but it's literally the first thing in the show.
Well, I was going to mention too, like it was always kind of weird and in the back of my mind that there was a 4th Hokage and then they went back to the 3rd, but it makes sense now. I mean, I'm assuming he kind of came out of retirement because of what the 4th did. So,
yeah.
But as far as these episodes, though, the second note that I made is I'm guessing they all die simply because of what Kakashi told Sasuke right before he went to join the Sound Ninja 4. He was like, I lost everyone. Like, I understand more than you think about what you think I don't understand or whatever.
I love how he says, he says something to the effect of all of the people you're talking about are already dead. Because Sasuke is like, you don't know what it's like.
Mm.
Yeah.
We got some backstory on his dad, Kakashi's dad.
Rough.
Yeah.
Sakumo.
Sakumo. Very Sakumo Hatake. Yeah, that's right. Very dark, honestly, to be so like clear that like, hey, this is what he did. Everybody hated him for it. He shouldn't have been, or should have been. I don't know. By law, shouldn't have been. But then we got more context on that statement from Obito, where Kakashi even repeated it to Team 7 at the beginning of OG. So obviously had a big impact on him.
It's very sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in the context of knowing the fate of Obito and how much he respected the White Fang for what he did, knowing that he didn't really look at it as emotions, but more like kindness and care. It wasn't just like, I am cold hearted and a ninja only. It's like, no, I'm still a human. And if I have a friend or someone that like Reen, who I've spent my entire life with in this, category of my life at least, then why would I not go after her? And for his dad to go through that and then be hated by his village because of that, I mean, it's just dark.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he made the right choice, the White Fang.
Yeah, I mean,
because
go ahead.
No, just like
which
knowing
choice?
Me to save his comrades instead of to complete the mission.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's like I don't think I could do that. I don't think that I would like willingly let comrades die.
Right.
To fulfill a mission.
Yeah. I get both sides.
But I mean, I'm, never been in the military. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never been in the military either. But I get both sides because Kakashi and Obito are both able to like air out their reasons for why they want to do what they want to do. And they're both understandable. Like Kakashi's logic is, if we go after Reen and we fail the mission, other people could die too. So
like a lot.
If we don't do our job and Reen dies somehow, which I don't think she is, because this is how that's going to work. They need to know more about us, so they're not going to just offer right away.
Right.
But at the same time, they're like the age of Naruto and Sasuke, probably a few years before they are now, and they're just kids. Like, how do you expect them to put the fate of their comrade in the hands of like just a tough situation? It's incredibly difficult to like be like, yeah, this person's right versus wrong.
Right. I do personally think Kakashi had a more solid argument. I think that like they can't kill her. If we can just get this done, then we can go. Like I think that makes the most sense, like from a greater good aspect.
Yeah.
But there's a few things in this, like in the last episode, that it's really frustrating. Just so much of like, if you did this instead, completely avoidable. The rest is avoidable. I guess I can get into it now. Like jumping ahead to them getting there and trying to rescue. So they take out that first guy, and then they go in on the second guy. They have perfect like chemistry. They fight together. They take the guy down. They don't confirm the kill. They just run straight to Reen. So there's one. You confirm the kill, and all three of them walk out of there fine.
Right.
With no huge explosion, no reinforcements. There you go. And then beyond that, whenever, I was thinking about it whenever I was watching. I'm blanking now. It's whenever everything is falling. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm so sorry, guys.
Obito?
Yeah, so it's whenever everything fell, Kakashi clearly could use the Chidori again. Didn't use it on the huge boulder to break it up into a bunch of pieces. Just tried to push on it and then got mad. I get it. I get, what's going on. It's just things that I think of that just drive me insane. That it's like we know and have been taught that this is within your ability, but right now we're just choosing to be like, what do you do? Like it was already done. Like it fell on him.
With the Chidori, would there have been some risk? Because I thought about that too. Would there have been some risk of him like accidentally making it worse for Obito?
How can you make it worse?
Well, I mean, like killing him.
I mean, they left him there. Like that's the same end result.
Here's my take on the Chidori. He was just told. He was just told by Minato not to use it again until he mastered it, and so I don't think it was registering to him like this is an option. I think it wasn't an option until he had to get revenge or vengeance for Obito because he hasn't used it since.
Right, and I see what you're saying, but whenever he used it afterwards, he had the Sharingan, so it completed it. Took away his his.
Oh, true.
The window or whatever.
And that's a callback. That's good writing. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I didn't think of that either.
But also before that, Minato told him like, don't use it because you can be countered so easily.
Right.
But a rock's not going to counter here. So I get what you're saying, and I think that it's valid that like, they were just in this situation. He wasn't immediately like, let me bust up this boulder and we'll get your crushed body out of here. Like it, half crushed. It's kind of like, okay, you're done. Like you're going to die. Like it's a matter of when. But I don't know. It's a sad way that Kakashi got it, but there's some pretty cool moments in here too. Like whenever he comes out of the cave to go after that guy, it's a pretty cool moment from Kakashi.
Yeah, it really is.
I know what it was. He didn't have HM06. Rock smash.
If only.
I missed everything you just said because I was Googling that because I couldn't remember which HM it was. Worth it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was honestly of the like we didn't get much time with Obito, but I really feel like I could have grown to really be a fan of the guy. And of all the like sadness that's happened in this show so far, that one hurt the most. And for whatever reason. It really did. Like I was like, dude, this kid does not deserve this. Especially the way they like drew it out and like he loved Reen and like it was just I was just like, man, everything happens for a reason, and that's why Kakashi has his Sharingan. But
yeah,
and we saw this like side of the Uchiha clan that we've not seen yet because we are 99.9% of exposure to the Uchiha clan has been overachievers, like top tier without even trying with Itachi and Sasuke. But to see Obito, who struggled and like was kind of the runt in the group instead of being the superior one, Kakashi and Obito had flipped. So it was a really nice like change in chemistry. And I like Obito here a lot as well. So he's, a different flavor of Naruto, but I like it.
I'm just
even with the goggles.
Yeah.
True.
And like I've got dust in my eyes, and Minato's like, like a parent that's like, okay.
Yeah.
But it is super satisfying to understand why Kakashi has a Sharingan now. Like understanding the context of that, like it's just Kakashi.
A lot of payoff
goated,
because it puts to bed, is he related to Sasuke? This is, and I know that you guys have brought that up before and we didn't answer it on purpose. Here's your answer. So some payoff for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just took 10 months.
Yeah. No time at all.
Yeah.
So
Bro, I can't imagine waiting 2.5 years to get that answer. We waited 10 months and it feel like
it's
forever.
longer than that.
Yeah.
I know, because that's only from the jump.
Yeah.
True. That would have been from like OG first 10 episodes, right?
I remember believing that, like, whenever I was in middle school or whatever, watching the Zabuza arc, that Kakashi and Sasuke were related. Like, and I was like 12, so dumb, but I'm still dumb. But 12-year-old Logan just was like, hey, obviously brothers here. Like, or whatever. I don't remember specifically, but yeah, that, because we're told that it's like only an Uchiha thing. So it was like something that was going to relate them somehow, that he had awakened it. But come to find out, they just gouged each other's eyes out and healed them real quick.
Freaking Reen did it, right? Like,
could you imagine if it worked that way for real?
What, gouging it out and like throwing it in there?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming, they don't show any of that, right? But she's just kind of like, let me put my hand on your eye and this hand on your eye, and then
no, they show it later. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's not a bad spoiler. It's a spoiler, but it's not a bad one. It happens. Like,
wait, really?
Like the Uchiha can just like swap eyes.
No, you're crazy.
We'll find out. We'll find out if Logan's lying next week on These Are Words.
Oh my god!
I think that's false.
You think that's false? You think I'm making it up?
I think you're giving us a false flag.
Okay, I don't know. All right, we'll watch the show and find out.
Just being spicy to be spicy.
I like that.
I do agree with Zach though, and I texted Lance and Logan that this was like heartbreaking. And when you were saying like this is Obito's death is probably the one that hits hardest so far, 100% agree.
It's just the taking the life of something that's super innocent as Obito, and just the care that he had in his heart. You know, nice guys always finish last, even though he got finished first.
Damn.
Oh my god, amazing.
And Fade to Black. But no,
Fade to Black.
The fact that was in there and Kakashi's dad committing suicide, like, so much in 2 episodes. Like,
yeah, dense.
And then we go into filler, and it's just that 90s sitcom music again. Yeah, that's it. We actually don't go into filler. Next batch is 121 through 126, by the way.
We made it back to a creepy end scene, like end credit scene, where there's just young girls running on the beach in bikinis.
Yeah.
It's so
the outro.
It's so odd.
Yeah.
I
like
made
the
it
intro,
through
all right.
5. The song is fine, but I made it through like 6 seconds on the first one. I was like, I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Those animators were like, I've got a good idea.
Yeah.
But you got to think, now, in their defense, like, this show is a shonen. So, like, it is geared towards, and especially when this was coming out, like, audience was that age. Sure. There's a reason that they wanted, like, Karin to, like, be any, like, some sort of semblance of, like, sexy. It's weird, and it's a different culture, so it's, like, feels weird.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're 14 or whatever, it's not a huge deal. But when you're 30, it's like, these are children. What the hell?
The weirdest part that my brain goes to is thinking of some older guy drawing the curves of those bodies frame by frame.
Absolutely.
In a studio somewhere. Like, this is gold.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the animator. Is like, I got an idea, guys.
Yeah,
popping soda cans on the beach. Every character that I think is hot in a bikini.
Yeah,
fun stuff. So yeah, that was a great intro to this arc. We got a lot of information. We're going to get a lot more, and this season through 143, it's a nice season. It's a good one. It's a good one. Definitely memorable. A lot
Love
of
to hear
memorable
it.
stuff.
I will
So
say, as just riding the coattails of that comment, I will say that this batch, I was starting to get like, not like fed up with it. That's way too harsh for what I'm trying to convey. But like, it was just dragging, in my opinion, like the story a little bit. This has made me like want to see it all. Like, I'm like so jazzed to see what happens. I think that's why I feel so differently with you about the heavy. Like, I'm like invested in what's next with them.
this
I
is
want to
why
know.
filler is the problem, though, because what we just came off of was the last canon episode we watched was named Wind Style Rasen Shuriken. Whenever Naruto beat Kakuzu and Hidan had just been beaten, a very iconic for the entire series, a very iconic arc.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's hilarious that you're like, the story's dragging on for me. So I think that's funny. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think that it's funny because it's that arc to me is such a highlight. And then we come into the heavy, and that for me is the complete opposite where I'm like, okay, so we're in a lull now. So
Interesting.
yeah, different 180 views.
I think it's because I wanted Sasuke to be more than he was, and we finally got to that point, and I'm like, okay, let's see him cook for a little bit, because I've never been like the biggest fan, and you can go and check the receipts of the earlier episodes. Like, he's never been like my top guy. But I always in the back of my head was like, I really want Naruto to be able to at least just like have another conversation with him. And this to me is like, it's not happening now, but it's one step closer to that day.
Yeah.
Okay. I dig.
That's what I meant by dragging on, of like, I guess in sense of the original story that we were drawn into of Team 7 itself. Like, we're back to, okay, there's progress being made. He's not going to be the vessel. Like, he's independent, and he's got a goal of his own.
Yeah, I like that.
So.
Okay, I feel you. So, like I said earlier, next batch 121 through 126, just 6 episodes this time. The next batch following that will be a little bit longer, but there's just no good way to break all this up. So 121 through 126, more of the Itachi pursuit mission. Any last notes, snide remarks, whatever you want to throw in there?
I got nothing.
All right.
I'm solid on this one. Good episode.
Caged.
Oh, just kidding.
Cards.
We're not done.
Card.
We're not done?
Heart of the cards.
Dude.
Why is everybody saying we're done?
Bye.
Crinkle it
with what's his name? I forget it all the time. I forget it.
Oh,
who is that?
Yeah.
Is that Gecko Hayate? No,
it is Hayate. Is it not? No, it's the other guy.
Yeah, I can't think of his
Hayate coughed. This is the guy that has the stick in his mouth.
Right.
Another Neji, bro. Like, we have like so many of these. I don't know why. Man,
I want to see some. Oh, there we go. I want to see some Neji again.
And another Kiba. We're getting so many dupes. This is crazy. We've not had this Sakura yet, but you know.
The OG?
Long hair.
Wow, that's OG.
We've not pulled this.
Who's that?
What up, boy?
This is Jaruto.
Look at his HP.
Oh, dude. Thousands.
Scroll Master.
20,000.
121 through 126, just confirming.
Yep, 121 through 126. Okay, next. We got the man himself,
Okay.
Sasuke.
Oh, he's got the rope too.
It does not. Whatever. All right, you know it's Sasuke. The
Choji.
Choji.
Oh my god. It's Hayate.
That's Hayate? Oh, yeah.
This is him.
Instagram is listening to us.
Tintin, who we spend no time with at all.
Yay.
Yawn.
And then the
Rip
sexiest
Tintin.
lady, Chio.
Yes.
Chio! Ha, 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 ha.
Also,
Yeah.
Yes. Man. So there's our batch this week. Next week we'll open some more. We might just go to like 3 packs or something just to get through these because we have so many repeats. But anyways, next week we'll see you there. 121 through 126. Thanks for watching, listening to Team 7 Podcast. We will see you then. Bye.